There are a lot of young women who are like, I don't want to lose myself, but I still want to take this path.
Yeah.
How do I do that and still be my authentic self, but still be able to, master getting to that point of getting to the next level at the executive level with the career. So I'm working on a book.
We want to welcome Monica Brown. She is the head of technology and program management for SiriusXM Pandora, the largest digital media company in the world. How are you doing?
I am awesome.
Good.
Here. Do I need to be a little closer?
No,
That's
good.
great.
Good?
That's great.
Okay.
Right there.
Okay. All right.
So this is awesome that you're here.
Yes.
This is
I'm
amazing.
excited to be here.
So can you tell us a little bit about your role at Pandora and XM and what your plans are for the future of the next phase of Pandora?
Yes, absolutely. So I've been with Pandora since about January of this year.
Okay.
Currently, my role is Vice President of Technology Program Management. I sit in the Digital Product Development Organization, which means products, features, functionalities, everything that you see, you interact with on Pandora as an app, now Sirius as an app, comes through my organization.
That's awesome.
So we have engineers, we have quality testers, we do all kind of technology ideation sessions, and we talk about new things that we're potentially going to bring to the world. We develop it, and then we give it to you guys so you can enjoy it.
That's awesome.
Awesome.
So you guys just started a premium service for Pandora, right?
Yeah, we kind of always had premium.
The plus, the ad-free. But now you can actually control what you want to listen to, right?
Yep. But you get a little more control if you do that monthly subscription. So you have some control as an ad-free, because you can actually listen to Pandora and not have a full-fledged subscription, but them ads are going to pop up.
Right.
If you want a little bit more control, a little bit more flexibility, then you get more of the premium plus, and you kind of can create your stations, and you can modify your stations, and you can add people to it, take away. You can do all kinds of things.
So we have a ton of artists that watch our show. So they're like looking at you like, how do I get my stuff in Pandora?
Yes.
So we're going to try and answer some of that stuff.
Okay.
So for you personally, is there anything you're working on right now for Pandora that would be interesting for them to know about?
Well, I think the biggest thing is to understand that February 1st of 2019, we were acquired by SiriusXM. So we are now SiriusXM plus Pandora.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of things that SiriusXM brought to the table. All of the content, the podcast, everybody's familiar with Kevin Hart and all of the celebrity podcasts. So we now are able to serve up a lot of that content on the Pandora app. The biggest thing that we're focusing on right now within the company is truly merging the two brands and then figuring out what is the secret sauce to give you what you want in the Pandora app or the SiriusXM app. So we have a lot of things that we're trying to necessarily figure out. It's still early, so I really can't share much because we're still in those conversations trying to figure out what the strategy is going to be, for the rest of this year and beyond. But we're really trying to figure out how to maintain our identity as a company and Sirius as a company, but figure out, how we bring those two worlds together.
So I'm interested in your story. How does one become the VP of Technology Program Management at Pandora? How does that happen?
Yep. So I kidnapped a lot of people. I'm just kidding. Please don't believe that. That's not true. I started out actually in technology. Well, let me go back a little bit. I moved to Atlanta in the mid-90s. Okay. So I actually traveled here during, should I say, Freaknik days. I used to be here. But officially moved to Atlanta in 95. So I started here working for the Atlanta Olympic broadcasting for the 1996 Olympic Games.
Right.
So that's what brought me to Atlanta. I started a very brief journalism career, decided that I wanted to make a little bit more money because I like having 3 meals a day versus just one. So I took my writing skills into technology, and I started out as a technical writer, and then from there just kind of managed a technology career up into project management and then executive leadership. So I started my executive leadership career probably 2011, 2012, held the different executive roles from retail to T-Mobile technology, and then ended up at Pandora earlier this year. It's really awesome because I get to merge my passion for music and my passion for just entertainment with the role that I have right now, and I'm actually to influence the way you guys listen to music. So it's really, really, it's really like the height right now of my career.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I was looking back through your profile and Instagram. You've kicked in some pretty big doors for women. Talk about much you're involved with the community and how important it is for young women to be involved in technology.
Yes, it's very, very important for young women to be involved in technology because there's not a lot of us in there.
Yeah.
So it's not common, in my experience in the past, to be like the only woman in the room first, and then the only black woman in the room second.
Right.
So the more we have young women involved in technology, the more we can kind of diversify the thought process. Because when you have a lot of the same people with the same background in the room, you kind of only going down one path. When you have different people that can represent different areas of life, then you kind of have an opportunity to diversify that conversation a whole lot.
Yeah.
So, and it's, we're focusing on young women, young black women, but just African Americans in general, minorities in general.
Yeah.
There needs to be a larger representation. I believe the last time I did some research, it's either 3% or 6% of minorities are in leadership. Is 3%, right? Yeah. So in leadership, and then, just having that small percentage is really not giving us an opportunity to help change the landscape of technology. It's also not giving us an opportunity to bring in more people like us.
Yeah.
So, the more people we have that can represent those perspectives, the more we're able to bring other people in. I mentor a lot, so I have young women and young people that I talk to often because they're trying to figure out how to get to that place. And I think sharing that story and being able to truly pour into them is also going to help with that path as well.
How are you able to overcome that? Because that you are right. Minority women in technology is rare.
Yeah.
So I just looking at the companies I've been at, when you look at those offices with the glass doors, like it's all white men, right? So how were you able to overcome that challenge?
That's a really good question. I think if I had to really quantify how I did it is I didn't let me seeing that sway my thought that there was an opportunity for me to do it. So when I think and this is from experience, talking to a lot of people, they're like, well, I don't know if I can make it. I don't know if I can do it. There's not a lot of us. But if we don't take that path, then who's going to do it? Yeah. And more often than not, I'm usually kind of one of one or one of two, African American leaders in certain positions. It's always good to have some representation to be able to do that. So I just think I didn't let that kind of get to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I just said, you know what, I deserve to be here. And if I deserve to be here, then I should have it, so why not? And you just, you deal with things, you hear things, you're in scenarios and you're like, wait a minute, did they just say that out loud? So they did. But, but here I am with a really rare opportunity to change the thought process of someone who probably wasn't exposed to another leader, a minority leader or whatever. So I'm using this as a huge opportunity to really influence and change the landscape and possibly, pave the way for others to come.
Are you finding a lot of interest? Because the STEM field, I've done workshops at Georgia Tech where we're trying to encourage kids to get interested in technology.
Yes.
Do you see a lot of people, do kids seem to be attracted to it, or is it a challenge to get them motivated to get into STEM?
Well, so attracted to it, I'm probably going to stick with that for just a second, because if you're not exposed to it, it's very hard to be attracted to something that you've never seen. Right? So I think it's our job as parents, as uncles, as cousins, if we know that there are camps, or we know if there are things on YouTube, or we know there are things, on different platforms that we can expose our kids to, then that's when the attraction comes in. But if we don't do that, then they don't know that these things exist. And then once you get that attraction, you have to feed it. So if there are camps or different things that you can kind of expose them to, some of these camps are very expensive, but some of them aren't. Like, you can really find some opportunities to expose kids to different things and get them interested and get them involved and get them engaged. I'll use my daughter as an example. I just told you guys she's getting ready to go to camp, the medical camp, but for the past 3 years, I've put her in technology camp. Whether she wanted to go or not, initially. But now she's like, every year, which camp am I going to go to? So she's proactively planning which camp she wants to go to. But even in the medical field, even in radio, TV, whatever, everything has a technology aspect to it, because there's robotics in medicine. There's robotics in, drones. There's aspect of life, even in your phone. If a phone can recognize your face, how do you think that's happening?
Yeah.
It's technology. So every aspect of our lives is going to have technology, and the more we expose our kids to that, the more we're preparing them for the future.
I plan to do the same with my daughter. I plan to teach her how to code as soon as possible.
Absolutely.
Because it seems like you're going to have to know how
Absolutely.
at some point.
Absolutely. And I will tell you that, especially at Pandora, we have a huge diversity and inclusion aspect of the company, but we really need to teach our daughters how to code, because I can tell you, even iOS, Android coding, I don't even think anybody really pays attention to that, but everything that we do is centered around the phone.
Yeah.
We listen to music, we pay bills, we talk to people, we send text messages, we do notes, we pay everything that we do. If I lose my phone right now, I'm probably going to be sick for about 3 days.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
Because my entire life is wrapped up in that phone.
Yeah.
So teaching our kids on how to create technology that is, could be based on, creating an app or anything that can really shape the lives of what we're in. Alexa, I mean, you can, you can.
You just turned around.
Siri, like, I'm just saying. Now, look at it. So every aspect of life is technology. So the more we expose our kids, the more we're preparing them for the future.
That's amazing.
How does what's next for Pandora, and how is it competing with other streaming services that's out? Like, you know what I mean? Because you guys are almost like the OGs of this. We're dealing with Spotify's and everybody else. You guys were like the first to have a playlist just going.
Thumbs up, thumbs down, that functionality.
Right. And that's what makes Pandora unique. And of course, there's always healthy competition. That just motivates us even more to do what we do on the inside. But I think just making sure that we are staying at the cutting edge of how we are preparing the content for you guys, how we are curating the content, and how we are giving that opportunity for you guys to truly hear new music, or create that playlist or integrate artists into a different playlist. I mean, right now, I probably can't hit my Pandora right now. I don't know what kind of song is going to come on there. But, when I get into my car, the first thing that pops up is the Pandora music. And I get the opportunity to listen to, Sierra, or I can listen to Dietrich Haddon, or I can listen to John Mayer, or I can listen to, a whole aspect of it's just so vast. So I think what's next for us is just to really pay attention to the market, make sure we're listening to you guys as artists and as listeners, and making sure we're internalizing that so we can give you the best experience when you open up that app.
So would you ever see that Pandora do something where it's like a mixture of just music? It's like people just saying this is good music regardless of the genre. This is just good music that people just need to hear.
So let me make sure I understand. Are you? Because we have something called the thumbs up radio, so you can listen to every single song that you've put thumbs up on. You can listen to that in one single.
Just all genres.
Yeah, it's all genres.
Well, I'm talking about just in general, not like my own personal. I'm talking about like if I go on to on Pandora and I'm like, I want to hear Michael Jackson playlist, right? And I'm just hearing pop music, and regardless of the genre, because pop could sound Christian, reggae, or you know what I'm saying? Like, so regardless if the sound of it, would that be something in the future maybe? Like, where it's just like, it's just not saying like, okay, this is Michael Jackson, Justin Bieber, this, that. It could be Michael Jackson, a guy named Spencer Kane, and this guy or this person. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Different genres that have that same style of music.
And I think that would come more into the curation of the content.
Gotcha.
There are some elements of that. I'm not sure if it's exactly what you're saying right now, but let's say, for example, if I type in Christian hip-hop music, I can actually add other artists into that, and I can diversify. Not just listening to Christian hip-hop, I can add other stuff into that, and that would give me more of a diverse listening experience versus just having everything that's curated for Christian hip-hop.
Gotcha.
So we kind of have elements of that. I think I understand what you're saying, and I'm not sure if we have that specifically, but you can create that with your premium plug, Premium Plus, or different aspects of your service with Pandora.
Gotcha.
So we actually distribute a ton of artists to Pandora. And it still has a lot of cachet with them because it's curated. Not everybody gets spun on Pandora. So are there any tips for artists? Like, is there anything that they can do better? Is there anything the people that are choosing are looking for? Like, what do you have for them?
Yeah, so specifically for Pandora, there's something called the Artist Marketing Platform. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with it. It's called AMP.
Yeah.
And then AMP is a huge marketing tool for independent artists to get that foot in the door with Pandora. It also gives you very detailed ways to help market your music through the Pandora platform.
No, it's amazing.
It's extremely helpful. So if I had one piece of advice for artists specifically to get to that next level as far as marketing their content and their music, I would say use that AMP platform.
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And I think it's ampplaybook.com.
Yeah,
but if you look at artist marketing platform, it'll pop up.
Because it gives you opportunities to highlight a single from your album that you really want spun.
And it takes you through that entire
You can
process.
make commercials that get played in between songs.
All of that.
1 minute. And you can record it right into the... It's awesome.
Yeah, it's one of the most phenomenal tools since I've started working with Pandora. It is, in my opinion, one of the most phenomenal tools for any artist to use.
And Pandora works closely with Next Big Sound. I don't know if y'all own them or not. But if you want your stats and how you're doing on, not even just on Pandora, it tracks a lot of different platforms.
It gives you,
it
gives you who listened to it, where, what part of the country. So Next Big Sound is really another aspect of Pandora that's phenomenal because it gives you all of the metrics. It gives you all of the details around who, what, why, where, and it really gives you a very detailed report if you want it.
And it tracks YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, all of that.
All of that.
Wow.
You trying to come to work with me on
I
Monday?
am. I actually am.
Yep. So
We'll talk about that later.
I know,
He's
right?
got the resume. He definitely has the
Next
resume.
Big Sound is phenomenal. We also have partnerships with SoundCloud. I mean, we have a lot of great things that are happening and a lot of good opportunities for independent artists and, current artists that are signed. Because we also work with the record labels as well.
So I got a question for you.
Yes.
We're seeing that there are a lot of believers operating behind the scenes on large platforms. When you meet the Sways of the world and you meet the Jermaine Dupri's, what are some of the influences that you hope to have on those people?
Oh, wow. I think the biggest thing I would hope to have on them is to make sure that they understand that there's the front of the camera, but there's also a lot of stuff that happens behind the camera.
Yeah.
And behind the camera, behind the music, behind the microphone, all of the stuff that we do in the technology space and the development and making sure that there are no bugs in the platform and when you open up Pandora, it doesn't blow up. All of that is just as important as what's happening in front of the camera. So it's more of a partnership and anything that I can do in that conversation to influence the fact that it's a partnership and I need you just as much as you need me probably would be the biggest thing I would try to do in those conversations.
Great.
So obviously music has changed, right? So I see that there's a move towards subscriptions as you guys have participated in as well. Are there any trends that we should be aware of that you see coming down the pipeline? Changes in music, the fact that we're going from buying albums to streaming. Are you noticing anything that is coming on the horizon that may be interesting to artists and fans?
Not that I can necessarily articulate right now. I do think that the streaming aspect is going to continue to be elevated in the music. The changes within the technology and how we stream, how quickly we stream, how much we spin is going to take a bit of a turn, in my opinion, and this is all my opinion, the world according to Monica. How quickly that happens is really the wild card at this point in time. And I think for Pandora specifically, now having the powerhouse of SiriusXM with us is really just going to put us, we're already a global company. We're already over 100 million listeners and users. Now it's like, okay, can we get to 150? Can we get to 200? And that, we're like over 1 billion plus, spins.
Yeah.
Can we get to 9 billion? Can we get to 12 billion? So now all of the conversations that we're having is not necessarily just bringing the two brands together, but it's what's next, which is what I think you're asking.
Yes.
And those are the conversations that we're having right now, is trying to figure out how to, take two solid powerhouse music entertainment companies and really completely take over the entire world.
So
right
since
now.
you're sitting here, I'm just going to try and get some feature requests out, okay? So first of all, I would love to see a Christian hip hop station on XM. I think that would be amazing.
If you do a search right now in Pandora and you put in Christian hip hop, you can actually click it and a station will come up.
I want on XM.
So
I'm talking to the one. I'm putting in my
been a
feature
fight.
request.
Gotcha.
I want an
It's been a
XM
fight.
Christian hip
Got
hop
it.
station.
So by default, I think because the two worlds are coming together, there is an
It'll
opportunity
be
for that.
some
But I
bleed
do
over.
hear
Okay.
you. Yes.
Are you guys considering adding, and you may have already, but podcasts, video, any talk of that?
Well, so as of, I believe it was March, April timeframe, we actually launched some of the SiriusXM content on Pandora.
Okay.
So you can actually access specific podcast.
So the shows are actually on there
through the Pandora.
Wow.
Yes.
I noticed Serial was on there. I saw some Serial episodes on there.
Yeah, so we have some
podcast.
Serial episodes, and I believe Kevin Hart is always the go-to one because I love that Kevin Hart podcast. But you can actually access that and other podcasts through the Pandora app at this time.
Okay,
that was one of the first things that we did because now we have not just music, but we have music and podcasts. We have the opportunity not just to stream music, but to stream audio and video as well. So it's actually a perfect
because it lends well to that, because on Pandora the first thing I always went on there, I made comedy stations.
Yeah, and we also
I would just comedy completely. I wouldn't even listen to music. So to me, the spoken word on there is
that's
perfect
another part
for
of it.
Because I walk past people's desks at my work and I'll see Pandora on everybody's thing. So to me, it's wide open what you guys could do with it.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate that. I feel like some more features are probably going to come from this conversation. I'm here for you. This YouTube thing.
I'm here for you. Yeah. I'm here for you. We got some technology people in the room that do coding and all that. So we got you. We got you.
I see him guiding me off to the side. It's all good.
And I got a last question for you.
Yeah.
Aside from the resume, aside from everything that you've done, whenever someone takes a job, I always feel like they have their next accomplishment already at the top of their mind.
Absolutely.
What is the next accomplishment for you?
The next accomplishment is to write a book about my story and my career trajectory to get to this point.
Okay.
The biggest thing I want to share is that, you can't change the fact that you're African American. Everybody knows when I walk in the room that I'm a woman. How do you manage that and also manage a career to get to the next level? And that's one of the things when I mentor, I get that question a lot because there are a lot of young women who are like, I don't want to lose myself, but I still want to take this path. How do I do that and still be my authentic self, but still be able to, master getting to that point of getting to the next level at the executive level with the career. So I'm working on a book.
Awesome.
Matt's probably shaking his head in the back because I was supposed to have it done a while ago, but it'll be done.
So you're in process already?
Yes, I've already started writing the book. And the goal is to have it done soon. Soon being probably yesterday.
That's great.
That's great.
But soon, yes.
It's a daunting process to even think about. I remember watching Miles Monroe give like how to write a book sermon. And it inspired me to be like, I think I might have to do that one day. I felt like I was supposed to be doing that one day.
Absolutely.
So that's inspiring that you're doing it. So I definitely want to see the end result of that. Because then, of course, you're going to get asked to speak everywhere.
Yes. And then you guys have to make sure I come back.
Exactly.
So I'm just going to stand outside and put my face on the glass like this until you let me in.
You got to see the table. You got to see the table.
So thank you so much for coming.
One more last question.
Yes.
Should artists learn algorithms?
I don't think it's a bad idea.
Okay.
I don't think it's a bad
idea. Do you have any? Okay, so we'll talk offline about the secrets of the algorithm. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So thank you so much,
absolutely,
Monica Brown, for coming in and sharing your wisdom with us.
Can you share your social media where they can find you? They follow?
Yes. I am on Instagram every day. I don't want to say all day because I do have to work. But my Instagram is at Miss Monica B, MSMONICABEE.
Okay.
I'm also on Facebook, Miss MBEMMBEE. See the little twist I'm trying to put on there. So I'm really on Instagram though. Okay. So if you guys can follow me on Instagram, that would be great. At Miss Monica B.
Okay.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Let's get back into it. You in the field with the Trackstarz, Ryan Righteous, Shantan, and DJ Jeremiah. Let's go.
Hey guys, Miracle here. Thank you so much for watching that episode. Make sure you go below, like it, subscribe, click the bell, and make sure you follow us on all forms of our social media. Also, check out our website and be sure you spread the word. We'll see you next time.
We know not what we doing. Screw that, they know, let them have it, do it. Okay, I'm erratic, prove it. Never mind, got a mind that'll wind up with me in a lineup behind bars with these bars. Okay, my time's up.
Team Freedom.
Yeah.
We not through yet.
All right.
Trackstarz Music presents.
Turn my volume up. Turn me off.